Alrighty. It's finally time, huh? It's finally time to discuss this movie. A movie that I'm sure a lot of you have been very eager to hear my thoughts about. And before you say it, I'm not going to praise it as much as most people do, saying it's like a flawless masterpiece or whatever that kind of fluff is. But I am going to say that this is a fantastic Batman movie, and you do need to see it if you haven't for some reason yet. Welcome back to Animation Station and Cynical Saiyan 77. Welcome to the second of the crossover DC Live film reviews, and welcome to the second review of the second film in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy with, well, The Dark Knight. A movie that has been praised for years as being one of the greatest comic book movies ever made, and for being, for a time anyway, one of the highest grossing movies of all time, period. This movie was a huge success, not to mention it's also one of the only comic book movies to actually win an Oscar. And trust me when I say it earned it. So yeah, I have a lot to praise about this movie, but I also have a decent bit to kind of bash on it too, so if you can't handle criticism, there's the door. Skedaddle. I'm not going to lie about my opinion. I haven't before, and I'm not going to start lying about it now just to keep people from attacking me. So, without any further ados or delays, here's my written review. Let's start with the positives first, as we always do. I apologize for the lighting. Apparently it's raining again. And my voice doesn't want to cooperate, that's great. So, positives in the movie. Superb acting, excellent writing, sharp storytelling, top-notch, vastly improved action. Like, seriously. The action's so much of an improvement that it feels like a completely different movie that doesn't belong in the same trilogy. Spectacular practical effects. Ledger's Oscar-winning performance of Joker still being bone-chilling and spectacular all these years later. A great pace, a darker tone, excellent characters, much better directing, the freaking shaky cam's gone. Far better editing, gorgeous cinematography, and some of the most memorable scenes in comic book movie history. You know, the chase in the streets, the interrogation scene, the found footage scene where he murdered the Batman imposter, the "I'm not wearing hockey pads" joke that's been overdone to death, and Harvey's ultimate demise at the very end of the movie. I don't need to say anything more than that. However, it is still no masterpiece. Like, not at all. The final 50 minutes of the movie, excluding the hospital scene and Harvey's ultimate demise, is terrible and extremely tacked on. Like, they literally just squeezed this in here just to have a longer runtime. Like, they could have ended it right when Harvey is in the hospital, or after the hospital blows up, and then have the rest of this in another Dark Knight movie. But instead, they try to squeeze it all in here, and as a result, it feels tacked on, it feels unnecessary, and it completely saps the wind out of the movie's sails and completely ruins its momentum. Like, just no. The final 50 minutes of this movie after the hospital bit, I pretty much skip, except all the way up to the actual ending, because the ending is really good. It's still way too long and almost 3 hours. Like, yeah, this movie's almost 3 hours from a movie in 2008. Now, if it was a movie that was from, like, the late 2010s to now, I'd understand trying to go for that 3-hour runtime, but this is in 2008. People don't have that kind of patience. So, yeah, way too long and almost 3 hours, so it does definitely drag a bit. A few scenes here and there are pretty hit or miss, like some just feel completely unnecessary to the plot or just are there to fill up time. Like, there is some filler in this movie, and it's pretty egregious. The Batsuit, while better than the last one, seriously, the last one's Batsuit was so freaking boring, is still unimpressive. I'm sorry, I still don't like this Batsuit. Like, it's slightly better because of the accents of gray, making it seem less bland, but it's still not a very good Batsuit, and they still don't know how to shoot it properly. So, yeah, it's pretty noticeable, especially in the one scene on the rooftop where Batman is sitting here and Harvey and Dent are arguing. and they shoot it like this, I mean, it looks stupid. It looks bad. Like, no, I'm still not a fan of the bat suit, and they still can't shoot the freaking thing correctly. And that awful voice is still a huge problem that completely ruins the tone and breaks the immersion constantly every single time Bale opens his mouth. Like, I still hate that freaking bat voice. I will never stop complaining about that bat voice. It is so egregious. It has been joked about and memed to absolute death. And it's still egregious. In all three of these movies, it is egregious and completely ruins the immersion. Like, just no. I don't know what Bale was thinking with that, but yeah. That voice is absolutely inexcusable, and it should not be that freaking bad. Just no. Okay, overall thoughts. This is without a doubt a massive improvement over Batman Begins, and a fantastic, groundbreaking Batman film, and an all-around excellent comic book movie. But it's still pretty overrated and far from the Cape Crusader's best film, especially when you take into account the animated ones like Dark Knight Returns and Under the Red Hood, for example. I still highly recommend it, especially if you are a Batman fan and somehow, for whatever reason, have still not seen it yet. But please temper your expectations, or you'll end up getting disappointed. Yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on it. It is a movie that is definitely great. It has earned it most of its praise over the years. But those calling it a flawless masterpiece, I'm sorry, I don't see the same thing that you do. It's a great movie. It's definitely a must-see for Batman fans, and it's a huge improvement over how frustratingly disappointing the first installment in this trilogy was. But it's still just not that spectacular. Like, it's a great movie, absolutely, but it's no flawless masterpiece. That's all I'm saying. It's no flawless masterpiece, and if you're watching it for the first time, you need to temper your expectations, or you're going to end up getting disappointed. That's just how the cookie crumbles. But it's still a great movie, it's still a great Batman film, and it's earned pretty much most of its praise it's gotten over the years. And rest in peace, Heath Ledger. I wish you didn't pass away, because I'm sure a lot of people would love to continue to see more performances of you as this awesome, spectacular, fresh, new, innovative Joker. Like, seriously, rest in peace, man. You earned your Oscar, and you earned your flowers. Forever rest up in heaven. So, I've talked about the pros, the cons, my overall thoughts on the movie. Let's get straight into the final verdict. This one might be a bit controversial, but it's my opinion. You can disagree if you want to. For me, this is still a great movie that I definitely highly recommend you go see if you haven't for some reason. But if you're going in expecting a flawless masterpiece that you're going to love 100% of the time, no. Temper your expectations. Like, expect a fantastic movie all the way up until the final 50 minutes where it kind of just flies off the rails. So, that's what I would recommend. So, final verdicts for The Dark Knight is going to be a controversial but still very solid and very well earned 8 out of 10. This is still a great movie. It's still a great Batman movie. It's still a great comic book movie. But personally, I just think Iron Man is better. Maybe it's because I'm a Marvel nut, I don't know, but even as a Cape Crusader fan, I still would not call this the best Batman movie. It's definitely one of the better live-action Batman movies, but compared to Batman 2022 and Batman 89, yeah, no, not even close. But still a great, gritty take on the Cape Crusader, and it's earned a lot of its praise over the years. Highly recommended, definitely check it out if you haven't already. And watch it at least once, because as a Batman fan, it's your obligation to. Just again, temper your expectations and don't expect like a flawless masterpiece, because that's not what it is. That's just my opinion. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And for Cynical Saiyan 77, you guys are done for the day. I originally was also going to review Following Memento to build up to Oppenheimer, but I tried doing 2 reviews a day on top of the stuff on Animation Station for Metal May, and it nearly drove me batty, so I'm not doing that again. So for Cynical Saiyan 77, you guys are done for today, but tomorrow we'll be back with Dark Knight Returns, and then for Animation Station, buckle up, you got a Batman double feature heading your way, starting with Batman Year One. See you then.